We've started doing live streams here on Most Amazing Top 10. They have been really fun, I think, and we're going to do a lot more of them very soon. Sometimes though, live streams go horribly wrong. If the camera is always on, you're bound to eventually capture something bad, sometimes in front of many viewers. These stories are creepy, they're often shocking, and sometimes really tragic. I hope you're prepared for this. My name is Danny Burke, and this is the top 10 scary live stream stories. Starting off at number 10 now, we have torture. This is the shocking story from January 2017, when 4 people were arrested after a video was live streamed of them torturing a duct-taped victim. It took place in Chicago, where police said the 18-year-old victim with special needs had been reported missing beforehand. The video shows the victim's clothes being cut, he gets covered in cigarette ash, and then they cut his hair with a knife until his scalp bleeds. Perpetrators can be heard laughing while making racially charged comments and references to then President-elect Donald Trump. The Chicago police superintendent was quoted as saying, "It's sickening. It makes you wonder what would make individuals treat somebody like that. I've been a cop for 28 years and I've seen things that you shouldn't see in a lifetime, but it still amazes me how you still see things that you just shouldn't." When police finally intervened, they said the victim was treated for his injuries and returned to his parents. Next up at number 9 now, we have MARINA JOYCE. There's a name I'm sure a few of you may have forgotten. In 2016, a small YouTuber called MARINA JOYCE started acting strange in some of her videos. Where she used to be upbeat and quirky, she now seemed quiet, her eyes shifting off camera. Her fans began worrying that she had actually been kidnapped by someone and was now being forced to make videos for money. The story went viral with the hashtag #SaveMarinaJoyce trending on Twitter for days. Eventually, Marina did a live stream to try and quell the concerns of her followers. They asked her why she had bruises all over her body. Marina simply told them she was fine.
It's actually the bruises. I wasn't okay recently, so it's really sad about the bruises, but I can't say what happened.
Then later on in the live stream, someone posted a comment saying, "If you are not okay, say hi to everyone who is joining." This is what she did.
Say hi to everyone who's joining. Hi everyone who's joining. I really love you. Thank you for joining.
Now, did she not understand? Is that the simple explanation for all of this? I know some people out there are still convinced that Marina was and perhaps still is in perilous danger. Moving on to number 8 now, we have the fire. This one comes from 2015, where a Japanese live streamer accidentally burned his house down while live streaming. His name was Daisuke and he was live streaming Minecraft. Now at some point during the stream, he decided to show off his new oil match lighter. The lighter flared up a bit more than expected, and while Daisuke is dealing with that, he places the lit match behind him onto a bag of tissues. I think you guys can see where this is going. The tissues are then engulfed in flames. He takes them over to the corner of the room and then tries to put out the fire using pieces of cardboard. I am not making this up. Daisuke leaves the room, and by the time he returns, the whole corner of the room is ablaze. To the horror of his viewers, he did nothing more to combat the fire other than throw a few small bowls of water over it. Amazingly, he made it out alive, and firefighters were able to eventually contain the fire, but it could have ended up in absolute disaster. Next up at number 7 now, we have the heart problem. This is a tragic story from 2013 when a mother of 2 died from heart problems on Facebook Live as her friends and family watched. Kiana Herndon, aged 26, was holding her 1-year-old son Riley while she streamed on Facebook from her friend's house in Arkansas. She was telling her viewers about her plans to go back to school when witnesses say she suddenly began wiping her face and shaking her head. Her aunt was one of the first watching to notice her acting strangely. She watched her fall back as the phone fell to the floor. 1-year-old Riley then picked up the phone and started talking and playing with it. She then heard a gasping noise followed by another, and then nothing. The stream ended with Kiana's friend running into the room and calling 911. She was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Kiana had over 3,400 friends on Facebook, but it's unclear exactly how many of them were watching at the time. Her family said she had thyroid problems, which triggered her heart. A GoFundMe was set up to help her 2 young boys. Next up at number 6 now, we have the stalker. In 2017, popular streamer Wreckful captured himself being stalked while streaming on the street at night. Now at first, it's his viewers who point out there is a suspicious man in a mask following him. Wreckful doesn't fully buy it though. He thinks that maybe the guy is just walking the same way as him. Perhaps perhaps it's nothing, perhaps it's totally innocent. He keeps walking and decides to flip the camera so that both he and his viewers can take a look at the guy behind him. After a short distance, Reckford decides that the best way to test if he really is being followed is to turn 180 degrees and walk back in the direction he came from. As he does that, he jokes that he would have been very freaked out if the guy turned around as well, and that's exactly what happens. Reckford looks very scared by this point. As he rounds the corner, he begins to run. In the end though, it's revealed that the stalker was actually just a fan of Reckford who was messing with him. Luckily, Reckford actually recognized him and finally calms down after having the scare of his life. Moving on to number 5 now, we have attempted suicide. This is a very disturbing story from 2013 when a 20-year-old Canadian man studying at the University of Guelph tried to kill himself under the viewership of 4chan members. He posted to the anonymous image board identifying himself as Stephen. He said, "Tonight I will be ending my own life. I've been spending the last hour making the preparations and I'm ready to go through with it." 200 viewers joined his live stream, the maximum allowed on the streaming site Chat-Teen. Many more were trying to get in and watch what went down. Stephen downed alcohol and pills before setting his room on fire. He then crawled underneath his bed where he typed into the chat hashtag I'm dead and hashtag oh my god I'm on fire. Some of the viewers actually encouraged his suicide attempt. Someone called to report the fire, whether it was a person in the building or an online viewer, nobody's really sure. The stream then showed firefighters pulling Stephen out of his smoky room. At the time, nobody even knew if he was alive. Authorities did announce that he survived though and was at the hospital with his mother. Next up at number 4 now, we have the seizure. This is a very disturbing clip from January 2018. During a virtual reality stream, a streamer noticed that someone in the game was behaving very strangely. They were lying on the floor and writhing around in silence. When the streamer got closer, they could hear something much more disturbing. It turns out the guy was actually having a seizure. The other players were shocked and kind of felt powerless. Nobody knew the guy in real life, and there wasn't enough time for the game makers to track his IP address and then send help. All they could do was watch, hope, and try to offer some supportive words. It seems that the man recovered from his seizure during a stream, at least temporarily. The other players wished him the best, and the man logged out, simply leaving them all shaken up and wondering what exactly just happened. Moving on to number 2 now, guys, we have Antonio Perkins. This man from Chicago was fatally shot in 2016 while streaming on Facebook Live. 28-year-old was shot on South Drake Street in the city's Lawndale neighborhood. The stream showed Perkins filming himself with his phone. He talks to the camera and other passers-by in the area. After a while, as Perkins stares into the camera, shots ring out. Roughly 12 shots can be heard as Perkins falls to the ground, taking the camera down with him. Witnesses in the area could be heard screaming. In all the confusion, nobody realized Perkins was actually live streaming, and the stream continued for 30 more minutes. In just a few days, the video was viewed nearly 350,000 times. Perkins was pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. He was a father of 3 young children. A police investigation reported that he had gang ties, but his family told the media he was no longer involved in gang activity. Next up at number 2 now, we have the robbery. In 2014, a Dota 2 streamer called Sajadine got the fright of her life, and she was robbed at gunpoint in the middle of her stream. Real name Nikki Elise, Sajadine can be seen looking terrified as she hears some commotion outside of her room. As she runs out of the room, shouting can be heard before a man brandishing a gun comes into the frame. He roots through her stuff before appearing to grab something. The stream continues as the robbers search for valuables. A friend of the victims called the police. When they arrived, they captured one robber after a short foot chase, but the other got away. A friend tweeted out that both Sajadine and her housemate were shaken up by the incident, but otherwise okay. She later made a video giving her account of what exactly happened, including everything that occurred away from the eyes of the worried viewers watching her stream. And finally, at number 1 now, we have swatting. Sanji TV is the name of this streamer from Russia who got swatted during a live stream. For those of you that don't know, swatting is when a viewer calls the police anonymously to tell them there is some sort of violent attack about to happen at the address of the streamer. The police always take these kind of calls seriously and sometimes send actual SWAT teams to investigate. That's what happened to Sanji TV. He was playing some CSGO for his viewers when all of a sudden this happened. Now, I've seen quite a few swatting videos in my time, but this has to be one of the most terrifying. Can you even imagine it happening to you? One minute you're relaxing, playing a video game, the next moment armed men with guns have you pinned on the floor and handcuffed, screaming at you to stay down or they'll shoot you. To be honest, I don't actually know what the SWAT team is saying in this video as I don't speak Russian, but I think we can all imagine what it is, and it's not going to be very nice. Well, I hope all of that hasn't put you guys off from watching our live streams, but we'll be doing them in the near future for you. I promise they won't be scary at all. Okay, maybe I can't promise that after giving you guys this video, but keep an eye out for it. Thanks for watching. As always, guys, my name is Danny Burke, and I will see you all in the next video.